Hi, I am Brian D. Hill, also known as Brian David Hill, formerly of USWGO Alternative News, We Are Change North Carolina, and FederalJack.com. Let me go and get the shirt. That t-shirt was given to me by Popeye of FederalJack.com. This is proof that I was involved in politics, that I was involved in alternative media, and this is my affidavit of innocence, actual innocence, general affidavit regarding innocence of accused crime. Before I get started, this video was not uploaded by me, Brian Hill, but was given over to my family. My family gave it, to the news reporter Aaron Cazell of wearechange.org, and he's the one who's publishing this video to YouTube and publishing this video for the sake of my safety. I'm doing this video just as Luke Radowski talked about doing a video about being set up with child porn. He said he was doing the video for his safety. I'm doing the same thing. I am doing a video so people know what I look like right now at this age, at the age of 26, so people knows that if something happens to me, they'll know this video was made. I am Brian D. Hill. I am formerly the news reporter of USWGO Alternative News. I'm innocent of the charge possession of child pornography, a single count charge in the United States District Court for the Middle District of North Carolina. Docket 113 CR 435-1. I am innocent. I did not do it. I did not commit the crime, and I have proof as to why. First of all, I'm sure a lot of you have seen either on court record or somebody had leaked some of the stuff from the criminal discovery evidence, and I've heard about it, and I had to hear it from a friend. I didn't even know about it until a friend told me, because I can't use the internet, so I didn't even know. The thing is, child porn was downloading between the dates July 20, 2012, right when my computer was hacked with the email virus Win32-Molly Vampire A, and there's the variant B of the computer virus, which ESET Virus Radar documents, and there's also McAfee. Both those antiviruses brought up about the virus. And so, I like to document the fact that right after my computer got hacked, then a month later, the Mayadan police showed up. I didn't even know I was being set up with child porn. The only reason Luke Radowski was not arrested or raided for child pornography like I was because he filed a report with the embassy in, I think it's Gandesh, or, he filed a report with the FBI. But I didn't know I was being set up with child porn until the police showed up and said, "Fess up! We know you did it! You better fess up or else your mother will be held responsible." I falsely confessed. I told the police what they wanted to hear. If the jury had saw the confession, they would have thought I was guilty. But, however, if they cross-examine my confession with the State Bureau of Investigation report where it said child pornography was downloading to July 20, 2013 from July 20th. Now, my computer was seized on record. That same computer where it said child porn was downloading up to July 20, 2013, that exact computer, and it's in the inventory, was seized on August 28, 2012. That means for exactly 11 months after my laptop was hacked. No, before my laptop was hacked, for 11 months, child pornography continued to download to my computer without my knowledge. I didn't even have my laptop. It was in the SBI custody and the custody of the Mayadan Police Department. How could this be? How could somebody be downloading child porn to my computer when I didn't even have it? This case has been affecting me. Because I made a false confession, my public defender, Eric David Plackey, he's the worst scum of it all. And I don't care if I call Eric David Plackey a scumbag, because he is. He made me, against my will, take the guilty plea. The guilty plea for a crime I didn't commit. I'm going to look you right straight in the eyes. I, Brian David Hill, did not download child pornography. I did not do it. And I'm willing to look at the jury straight in the eyes and tell them that same thing. Tell them the same story that I've been trying to say for years. Now this is my affidavit of innocence. Word for word, affidavit of innocence. I am declaring my innocence in an affidavit. During the initial re-registration of me as a sex offender, I'd sent them a copy of my affidavit of innocence. And I said if I fail to prove my innocence, they could be free to charge me with perjury. So I've got only one choice now. I've got to prove my innocence. Either actual innocence, or I need to go in front of a jury again, and I'm going to prove my case to the jury. And then they're going to find me not guilty, and then I will prove in my affidavit that I'm telling the truth. But I've got to prove my innocence first. So first of all, this is what I need from the American people. If they agree to do anything they can, start a fundraiser, I need a legal team. I need a legal team because I've tried to get lawyers to help me pro bono. I've contacted dozens, and they all say the same exact thing. We want money. We can't do it unless we get paid. Even if if we try it as a charity case, they're iffy about charity cases involving child porn. So I'm trying to get a legal team together to help my attorney, Cynthia Everson, attorney at law, because they're stalling her. They're stonewalling her as much as possible. I had a difficult time. Mayadan police is refusing to turn over the confession audio to my attorney, to a real attorney that's willing to help me prove actual innocence. Without that confession audio, I can't prove my innocence. I can't prove my confession to be false without the audio. Then the second thing is we finally were able to, finally get something started to prove my innocence, and computer experts just don't want to help us. They don't want to investigate because of the charge, child pornography. They don't want to help. So this is two things I'm asking from the American people. I need to be able to get a legal team together to be able to fight to prove my innocence, and it will help other people like Lig Radowski, Ian Freeman from Free Talk Live. He's getting a child porn setup attempt. He was raided by the FBI a few months ago, I think. He was raided by the FBI, and I was raided by Mayadan police, and we were both being set up with child porn. Because, see, we didn't know we were being set up. That's why Luke Radowski and Stuart Rhodes is not being raided. Even though they were being attempted to set up with child porn, because they figured it out. They figured out what was happening to them, and they reported it to the FBI, which creates an affirmative defense. So even if the FBI is crooked, the fact that they made a report and went public about it means that they have to not charge them. If they charge Luke Radowski, he can tell the jury, well, I filed a report with the FBI and I went public on YouTube about it, and then they're charging me with child porn. So that's the reason you don't see Luke Radowski being charged. That is the reason you don't see Stuart Rhodes being charged. I was charged with child porn because I was too late. I was too late in figuring out I was being set up with child porn. I didn't even know until August 28, 2012, when the police went to my house and said, we're raiding you for child porn. And they didn't even understand that it was downloading regardless of who held custody. It was downloading in their custody. When Mayadan police had my laptop, child porn was downloading to my laptop every single day when I didn't even have my laptop, according to the SBI report of server.met file that's associated with emule.exe, conime.exe, Shariza, Arez. Child porn was downloading on my computer when I didn't even have my computer. I can prove all that to a jury. It's in the U.S. Attorney's own evidence. And I'm a sex offender, even though I have proof I'm innocent. These court-appointed lawyers, I tell you, I never trusted them. I never trusted these court-appointed lawyers. The only one I really trusted more was Renorda Pryor and John Scott Coulter, because they woke my eyes up. John Scott Coulter was the reason I was able to find out that child pornography was downloading for 11 months when I didn't have my computer. It was thanks to Renorda Pryor that she awoke the U.S. Marshals and the judges up, the magistrate judge, I think it's Elizabeth Peake, They woke them up, and they know for a fact that I have brittle diabetes and that I can have seizures. That magistrate judge and other people. Now, at the beginning, when I went in front of that judge and they said I was accused of child porn, she would look very angry at me. She looked, I mean, I could swear she was like nasty at that hearing. She was like, "You're accused of child porn!" But now she realizes that something's not right here, because she started reading my pro se motions in the courtroom, and she said, "Wait a minute, Brian is trying to file a 2255 and he says he's innocent." So I think at that point Elizabeth Peaks started realizing that I was not given a fair trial, and that, you know, I want to prove my innocence, and that made her feel better. And then she ruled that she's only required by law that I have to be detained. She didn't have any kind of grudge. She didn't hate me because of the charge. That's the reason I was set up with child pornography, I believe. I was set up with child porn because nobody wants to take my case. Judges are going to hate my guts, and they're going to want to throw me in a cage. You know, that's the reason why I believe I was set up with child porn. I can't, you know, like what Susan Basco says, I can't prove whether it was, you know, local government officials in Mayadan. I can't prove that. But what I can prove is that I am set up with child porn. I can prove that I was set up with child porn in 2012 during the instant offense. I did not do it. I can prove it to a jury that I was framed. And that's why I recommend you read the article by Aaron Cazell. The reason I'm making this video is for my safety, because I'm afraid that once this article comes out, that the U.S. Attorney is going to show no mercy. Although he shows no mercy already. I want people to know that I want justice. I want to be found innocent, because I am innocent. I did not do anything to children. I don't even care about children. I didn't even care about children when I go to Walmart. I just sat there and I bought whatever I wanted to buy, whatever I felt was, you know, either needed or something I just wanted to buy. I am innocent, and I can prove it to a jury. I'm willing to look them straight in the eyes and tell them what's what, and tell the jury, members of the jury, I am innocent. I am innocent. I was involved with Luke Radowski. I was involved with here it is. All right. I was involved with Federal Jack. The t-shirt proves it. He had sent that to me in the mail. My mom knows that for a fact. We are changed. You know, we are changed. They know I was involved with Gregory Lance. I have my photo taken with Alex Jones. I have my photo taken with Phil Berger, a guy I don't even trust now after all this went down, considering he's the town attorney, and Mayadan police pursued the child porn charges against me, and then the chief of police was my enemy, so, you know, and he was pursuing the child porn investigation, and I just don't trust them. I mean, you know, I just don't trust them. I know it's a setup, and I'm going to prove as much of being set up as possible, because I do not need to be on the sex offender registry. I am innocent, and I'm going to prove it to a jury. One way or another, I'm going to prove my innocence. I'm going to tell the truth on the stand. If I have to, I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to prove as much of actual innocence as I can, and if I fall even just a teeny bit short, I'm going to request a jury trial. I'm going to take it back to a jury trial, and I'm going to tell the jury, you know, I'm never going to hurt any children. I never will. I never have. I never will. I never will. I'm not interested in children. I'm not that kind of person. I was involved in politics since 2009 because I disagree with Obama. I disagree with him going after file sharers. I started up USWGO Alternative News. But it wasn't just that. It was the fact that I have diabetes, and I felt like the diabetes was caused by the New World Order. I felt like the medical system, the big pharmaceutical and big agra, big pharma, I feel like they're responsible for my diabetes and other health problems I have. I have carpal tunnel, if you would believe that. I am actually taking medication. I need to get that. You know, I mean, I want to show you the bottle. You know, I mean, I have to go back, you know, over there and get the bottle. But anyways, you know, I have to suffer sometimes with my hand hurting. My hand was hurting. And it was because I was sending thousands of faxes to congressmen, SBI, FBI, different places, I was sending letters to the FBI with my signature on it telling them I'm innocent. Because I am innocent. Because lying to the FBI is a criminal offense. You lied to the FBI. That's a charge for each letter I was sending to the FBI. Now, why would I be sending letters to the FBI saying I'm innocent? Because I am innocent. And that's why I was sending letters to the FBI saying I'm innocent, even though that's a risk of a charge of lying to the FBI, because I'm not lying. I'm telling them the truth. I'm telling them the truth, and they know that. Otherwise, they would have charged me by now. I think they're aware that something ain't right here, and I have autism on record. And people with autism are known to give false confessions. It's in the state records, too. Virginia, North Carolina, Justice Academy. They had a training course about autism, about false confessions. And that's why I'm doing this affidavit of innocence, because I was not given an advocate when I was questioned by the police. They said, we found child porn. They made the claim, we found child porn on your computer, and you better just tell us. You better just tell us that you're into child porn. And that's when I said, I told them I didn't do it. I told them that I did not do it. And that was the first statement I made in the confession audio. And I told them I didn't do it. It was pirated software and music. And they said, we're not going after you for pirated software and music. Then they came back and said, we found stuff on your computer. You better just tell us. Did you do it? Did you download child pornography? And then I changed my answer. That was the worst mistake I could have made. That was the worst mistake. But I can prove it. I told the police that I put child porn on my netbook. That was not true. There's no child porn in the netbook computer. None. It was returned by the State Bureau of Investigation back to the Mandan Police Department, but they're not returning the netbook to me because that would be admitting to defeat. Then I'd be able to take pictures of me with a netbook that I claimed I put child porn on it, and then show for a fact that there was no child porn on it, that I gave the Mandan Police a false confession statement, and that's more than one false confession statement. That's just proven. I can prove I made a false confession statement because the day before, on August 28, 2012, before I made the false confession on August 29, 2012, the police chief ran over to where my family was. Four witnesses in total, and he said, "Fess up. We know you did it. You better fess up, or else your mother will be held responsible." And that's, from my perspective, what I believe he said. And my other family members, they recall him making a statement like we know somebody's downloading child porn or something like that, and he, that my whole family basically knows for a fact that they were threatening to hold my mother responsible for the child porn that I believe was planted, or they might have made everything up. I don't know. I never even seen the child porn photos, supposed child porn photos in the laptop. They didn't even show me any of them. I've never even been confronted with the evidence. All they do is say, "Oh, child porn's on the laptop." That's all they're saying. It's their word. And the SBI has been known to make false statements, manufactured evidence. Look up Dr. Kirk Turner. Look up SBI agent Dever. Scandals. SBI caught shoddy forensics. And it was an SBI agent that was looking at my laptop. He did not use a write blocker. I looked at the case files, the criminal case files for the Bradley Manning case, the United States of America versus Bradley Manning. That's a military case. They did proper forensics in this case. They made sure that the data was not altered. They used a write blocker so they can determine what was being done on his computer without altering the data. They did not do that. That means that the virus that was downloading child porn on my computer continued to download child porn. That explanation will fly in front of a jury, because the jury's going to see those dates that child porn was downloading when I didn't even have the computer, and then they're going to hear about the computer virus. We can prove that too. And then after that, it will go along with the dates. So that will prove to a jury that I did not download child porn. It was a computer virus. I can prove that to a jury. I can prove that to the Donald Trump supporters, so they can request to Donald Trump that I be pardoned if necessary. I might have to get a pardon if necessary, a pardon of innocence, and then I can have my criminal record expunged by executive order. Because I tell you, man, I was not given a fair trial. I was not given due process. My own public defender, Eric David Plackey, Judge Osteen and Tilly Jr., both, that's in Carlton, Tilly Jr., they're both federal judges in Greensboro, North Carolina, and L. Richardson Pryor Federal Building, United States District Court. They both were defending Plackey. They were praising Plackey, saying he's the best attorney I can ever have. They were praising Plackey. Like Plackey's the best attorney I ever had. No, he wasn't. He didn't even realize I made a false confession. He ignored the fact that my A1C was 10.9, that my blood sugars were literally high every time I went to court. And that could be proven because when I went back to jail after the court hearing, they tested my blood sugar and it was high. So I could prove to a jury that I didn't have due process last time. That's why I falsely took the guilty plea. I didn't have due process. My blood sugars kept running high every time I went into the courtroom. I wasn't thinking straight. I wasn't given any insulin, around those times when I went to court. And the marshals, they had to take me to court against my will with high blood sugar. Now, I have no problem against the marshals. They're just following orders. I've spoke to the marshals. They understand the court is corrupt. They're basically saying, yeah, the court's corrupt. They agree with me that the court is corrupt. The fact that my health care wasn't being taken care of. I had high blood sugars in the courtroom. I was not being given a fair trial. I was being given a public defender that wouldn't do anything to prove my innocence. I was telling the judge the truth, but he didn't care. He said that you'd be very disappointed if you get another attorney. I deny your motion. I deny your motion for substitute counsel. And I had to threaten a lawsuit against the public defender to the extent where he would retaliate, where my own attorney will retaliate against me. I had to go to that extent where I had to push my attorney to possibly retaliate against me to get him out of my case, to force Judge Osteen to finally get Plackey out of my case, and that was a smart move for me. Because then I found out child porn was downloading when it wasn't even in my custody. That was after I took the guilty plea. I knew I was innocent. And just seeing that right there affirms my suspicions that I was set up with child porn. I was set up just like what they tried to do to Luke Radowski of We Are Change. They tried to do this to Stuart Rhodes of Oath Keepers, Ian Freeman of Free Talk Live, a nationally syndicated radio show for libertarians. They're just setting people up right and left in the conservative field libertarian movement with child porn. Melissa Melton and Aaron Dykes. They're just setting people up with child porn. People that they thought was a threat to certain people, probably in the state of North Carolina or in the Bilderberg group. I've been set up with child porn. I have to tell you the truth. I have to tell the entire American population in the world the truth. I have been framed with child porn. The probation office is starting to wake up to this fact too. The U.S. attorney knows I've been set up with child porn, but they don't want to acquit me because they rather I be a sex offender for a crime I didn't commit. They rather the sex offender registry fall apart because, they get paid. Did you know that? The prosecutor in any cases run by the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, and they used Robert Bridge as an exception. Robert Bridge's sister, Melanie Bridge, she's the assistant district attorney of Rockingham County, and that's run by Phil Berger Jr. And I was writing articles against his father, saying I was going to have him removed from office. I was going to try to get some kind of criminal charge against him. I was working against Bill Berger Sr. I wanted him removed from office and making public statements about it and trying to get as much evidence on Berger as I could. And then a month later, I was accused of child porn. I was accused of downloading child porn, and they told me, you better confess. I better say that I did it. That's not voluntary. Now, I said in my guilty plea that I confessed voluntarily that I committed the crime and I know the facts to be true, that all the facts and elements of the crime to be true and accurate. No, it's not true and accurate. That's a bunch of BS. It's a bunch of BS. Because anybody who could do that has a lick of sense and does a private investigation into my whole case is going to know that my confession is false. They're going to know my confession is not true and it was not voluntary. That's the first element of the crime that's not true. There's other elements of the crime that I've been accused of that are also not true. And for that, I have to be found innocent by a jury of my peers. Any reasonable juror is going to find me innocent when I look at them straight in the eyes and I'm going to tell them I am innocent. I am innocent. Yes, I have to accept the fact that they're saying child porn's on my computer, but I didn't put it there. I didn't know it was on there. I didn't know it was child porn. There were weird files on there with weird file names on there, but I didn't know it was child porn. If I knew it was, I would have filed a report with the FBI. I would have given them an affidavit. I would have given an affidavit to the FBI agents like Luke Radowski did when he filed a report with the FBI. I would have went to the FBI. I would have said, Mom, we need to go to the FBI. I would have went to the FBI and I would have told them, here's my computer. I've been set up with child porn. I'd like to go ahead and put this on the record. I want to put on the public record that if I'd known I was being set up with child porn before the Maydan police raid on August 28, 2012, I would have done a video like Luke Radowski done. I would have went straight to the FBI. I would have asked for an FBI agent. I would have been like, I need to speak with an FBI. It's an emergency. And I would have said, I'm being set up with child porn. I suspect they're going to try to raid me. Please. I want to put it on the record. I've been set up with child porn. Period. And I want to give you the evidence so your agents can find out how I've been set up with child porn. And that creates an affirmative defense under the federal child porn law. I want to be able to prove my innocence, and I will prove my innocence because I am not guilty. I am not guilty. Susan Basco declared my innocence at the risk of being charged with perjury herself because she knew I was innocent. And I am innocent, and I'm going to prove it. This video is going to be given over to my family. They're going to give it over to the news reporter, and then they're going to put it on YouTube, so I'm putting it on the record so the U.S. attorney doesn't accuse me of posting it on there. I did not do that. It was the news reporter working for We Are Change that's going to put this on YouTube, and they're going to show the fact that I was framed with child porn. And the court knows that too. If Judge Schroeder sees this video, good. I want Judge Schroeder. Judge Schroeder, I want you to know, Judge Schroeder, that child porn was downloading between July 20 of 2012 and July 28, 2013 on the SBI report by Agent Rodney V. White of the State Bureau of Investigation Office in Greensboro, North Carolina. That's 501 Industrial Avenue in Greensboro, North Carolina. And I even have the zip code. I have been set up with child porn, and I can prove it, Judge Schroeder. And I want to go in front of Judge Schroeder or Judge Catherine Eagles, and I'm going to prove my innocence to you. I want to prove my innocence, but for that I need a legal team. Cynthia Everson's got to make a living. She doesn't have the resources to fully take my case on like a paid case. So she needs a legal team because, it's taken her a lot of money and she's not getting anywhere. She's upset about it. I can tell Cynthia Everson's not happy about this. She wants to get it done. She wants to prove my innocence. She wants to get it done, get the case out of the way so Cynthia Everson can get on with her life and she'll be done with my case. So I need a legal team. Not just from Wake Forest School of Law, it's going to be all the way to August, and I don't need to be a minute longer on the sex offender registry. I need to be off that sex offender registry as soon as possible, and the only way that's going to happen is when I prove my actual innocence. So, or if a jury finds that I have enough evidence to prove innocence. So either way, actual innocence or jury acquittal, that the jury finds I have enough evidence that proves I've been set up with child porn, then I can prove my innocence either way. So, if they threaten the judge or something like that, or pay off the judge to say I don't have enough evidence for actual innocence, then I'll be like, okay, then we're just going to take it to jury trial. And then we'll